Good morning, everyone, and welcome to CVHP News. I'm Sonora Scott. It's Friday, January 10th. We made it to Friday, y'all. Now let's take a look at your news around town. Sterling County now has a brand new ambulance thanks to the support of several West Texas organizations. The ambulance was presented during an appreciation luncheon Thursday for the organizations that provided the funding and the Sterling County first responders. The new ambulance fills a great need for the county.
I just want to again thank everybody. We're just a very blessed county.
We really appreciate all the help that we got from all the foundations. I mean, it's tremendous, and just being able to buy this so that our EMS can perform their best abilities.
The San Angelo Health and Area Foundations, Midland Area Foundations, and the USDA Rural Development all provided the county with the funding to purchase the new emergency vehicle. Now to a story that I'm sure will make you feel good on a Friday. Meryl and June Waddle are the winners of this year's Miracle on Wellington contest sponsored by Trend Furniture. Trend Furniture owners Christy and Russell Reed surprised the Waddles Thursday afternoon with the good news. Mr. Waddle is a retired policeman and says the new furniture will be a blessing as he and his wife raise their 3 great-grandchildren. Let's take a look at some of those special moments.
I'm Christy Reed. Is this your husband over here?
Yes.
Hi, Mr. Waddell.
What did we do to get this?
Well, you are the winner of Miracle on Wellington.
Oh my gosh. How wonderful. Well, we won some furniture. Oh, we're going to have to clean their house up.
Surprised primarily. I had been thinking about buying furniture. Like when I could afford it.
We're going to select the furniture that fits their home and meet their basic needs for new furniture.
Congratulations to them. Now let's check in with Jay Martin, who's got a look at the weather. Good morning, Jay.
Well, this morning it was a warm start to our day. We saw some 60s actually starting out our day, but that's going to be changing up as we go through the rest of the weekend. We're going to get back into those 70s though for today, so if you liked yesterday, it's going to be pretty nice again today, but there is that cold front that's going to be coming through for us in the early evening. We'll start to see that on Saturday morning, 35, and get us back into some of those upper 50s actually. So the cold front not bringing us any of those rain chances. Most of that's going to be staying out towards Dallas. They do have the potential to see some severe thunderstorms for them, but for us, we're going to be staying dry. We actually are going to keep, though, an eye on some of the moisture wrapping back around from that low pressure. That's staying north of Abilene, and since temperatures are going to be getting to freezing, they could see a mix for them. Really, all we're going to see is a little bit of clouds and a cold start to your Saturday, clearing it out and getting back into January-like conditions with us as we go into the rest of your weekend, getting into those upper 50s for us on Saturday, but it is all short-lived because Sunday, upper 60s, and then we're going into next week. Pretty quiet. We're not going to be seeing much changing, just seeing warm air continually coming into the Concho Valley, getting us back into those 70s.
Thanks, Jay. And now I am joined by such a wonderful guest. This is Debbie Sonberg, and we have a lot of good news to talk about.
Yes,
right?
we do. Lots of news.
Wonderful. So first of all, let's just get right to it. Tell me about your organization and how it started.
Okay, Keepers of Hope is 1 year old. We are currently a Texas nonprofit. We filed for our 501c3, so that should be coming in anytime now, so we're excited about that. And what I found out, Sonora, is there was a lot of nonprofits and organizations that had to stop their mission to go fulfill a small need, and it took them off their mission. And then a lot of them were buying things out of their pocket. And I thought, hey, why don't we step in and fill the gap so that way they can stay on mission? So we do it in 3 different ways. Okay. A nonprofit, one can call us with a hope request. I got a hope request for a homeless client that had a colostomy bag and she was using grocery sacks. So I was able to talk to a pharmacy and they stepped in and filled the need. I was able to take the colostomy bags, drop it off, And then they stayed on mission, and I went off to fill another hope request. So that's what a hope request
Wow.
is. And then we do monthly drives. And what we do with the monthly drive is we find a need, like this month, and we'll talk about it, I'm sure, is the book drive for the the Children's Advocacy Center of Greater West Texas. So for a whole month, I have drop-off stations, and we say, hey, y'all, we're taking up this, and everybody goes and fills in and drops off. That's the second way. The third way is I have people now that call me with donations and say, hey, Debbie, I have a rollaway bed. Can you place it? Then I contact the nonprofits. Do you need a rollaway? Something like that. And so that's the third way is we get donations and we place them in the nonprofit world.
Wow, that is amazing. So you're the one who basically, you know what everybody needs.
I try to. I try to. Perfect example is a nonprofit called me and said, Debbie, we have a lady that wants to donate 2 double beds. Do you need anybody? I know anybody. And I said, no, not at this time. Well, I went to the Homeless Coalition meeting yesterday, and a nonprofit walked up and said, Deb, if you hear of any beds, I need beds. And I went, I just happen to know where 2 beds are. So I connect resources for the different people.
That's amazing. So, when people say, oh, I know a guy who does this, I know a guy who, you're that person.
I'm that person.
Yes.
I'm the gopher that goes and gets the things and drops them off to different people.
Well, that's amazing. And like you said, you're doing these things to help all those organizations stay on their mission. So your mission is, to fill those needs and help them stay.
Yesterday, I dropped off some diapers. It was a hope request. And the lady actually told me, because of you doing the legwork, I get to stay on my case management and actually work with my clients. And so she doesn't have to leave her office to go see if she can find somebody to donate diapers. I put the word out, and I put it out on Facebook. I have a need, and then people will contact me. First one picks it up. The lady that bought the diapers called me and said, hey, they've got wipers on sale. I'm going to buy wipes too.
Yeah.
I went, okay. So we gave wipes too.
That is amazing. Yeah, let's talk about your Facebook page.
Okay.
You post, just some of the most inspiring stories. It gives you hope. Y'all are the keepers of hope, and it gives people reading it hope. So if you could just share some of those stories, those success stories.
Well, one thing is we had a nonprofit, and I know that you may not understand some of the requests, but we actually had a nonprofit that was running out of toilet paper. And at the end of the month, if you don't have the money, and so I put a call out for toilet paper, and I had a young lady out of Houston Amazon Prime me toilet paper on a Sunday.
Wow.
So I got toilet paper on a Sunday. I had 5 other people donate. A church heard about it. They donated, and we went and dropped off something like probably 30 or 40 rolls of toilet paper.
Yeah.
So it's doing something small, but we do it with great love.
Yes.
And that's what Keepers of Hope is about. And it's just like a drop. I drop the toilet paper off, I'm gone. Yeah. We have now touched over 35 nonprofit organizations. When St. Paul's Presbyterian had the cooling center, we were able to donate 16 cases of water from another Keepers of Hope. Just said, here, Debbie, here's the money, go get the water, get it to them.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is amazing. And we're talking, you just mentioned water, toilet paper, some of these most basic needs, that people don't think about, we take for granted.
Yeah. The number one thing I'm asked for is socks and underwear. But I only accept new socks and underwear.
Yes.
I won't take used, because I know some people say, well, they work, and I'm just not going to do that. So I take socks and underwear, and that's the number one request I get from all the different nonprofits is socks and underwear, and that's what we'll be doing in February.
Yeah. Wow. So, you bring up another great point. So each month is a different drive for a different item.
Yes. We did a coat drive for Rush Street Ministries because they needed coats. We did a paper plate drive for Turning Point because they had started feeding their classes that they taught. We got in over 3,700 paper plates. And my goals, I set a goal each month, like our book goal is 300. We'll surpass it.
Oh, yeah.
I was hoping for maybe 1,000 paper plates, but we got 3,700. So that organization had paper plates for their whole year. And that was not a budgeted item. It was something new that they had started doing. So I was able to help them with that. We did a water drive one day. We've done a sock drive before because, like I said, I go through socks. We're going to be doing snacks for House of Faith. We did a men's shoe drive because they run out of men's shoes.
Yeah.
Women, we have lots of pairs of shoes, but the men, they don't. So that
Yeah.
was a great need. So I find out the need that they need, and then we go, okay, this is what we're going to do this month.
Wow, that is just amazing and inspiring, and such, for the folks who are donating these things, to the drive or to you, such an easy way to get involved and an easy way to help people.
And what's amazing to me is I said, okay, do you want me to put your name on here that you gave this? No, I don't want any glory.
Yeah.
This is because this mission was placed on my heart by God. And so these people are all saying, nope, you give glory to him. So they are just like these hidden angels, hidden earthly angels
Yes.
that give these things. And I see weary nonprofit employees and case managers, and this has made them feel better that somebody
Yes.
believes in them. So it's a warm fuzzy everywhere.
Yeah, that's amazing. And it's hard, if you've ever talked to a caseworker or anything, they are buying this stuff out of their own pockets, and they are, feel so overwhelmed
Yeah.
with a lot because there are so many needs. But, like you said, it takes pressure off of them, I'm sure.
Yeah, that's what they love about it is I don't always somebody has put a picnic table on the radar.
Yeah.
They were giving me, it was a nonprofit. They had a big donation they were giving us. So I picked up the donation, and I always say, do you need anything? And she said, well, I don't need it now, but later in the spring, I sure could use a picnic table for my employees outside when they're working with the children, because it's a children nonprofit. Said they don't have a place to sit. So she said, would you put that on your radar? So I have a list, and it's on my radar. So later on, I'll send out a request if anybody has a picnic table.
Wow. So anything, basically what I'm getting is, no matter how random you think it is, if you don't want it anymore, Debbie can find a place for it.
Yeah, it has to be in very good condition.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have had some people call me and say I could have the leftovers from their garage sales, and I don't do that because
Yeah.
I run this out of my living room and my car.
Wow.
So
I was about to ask you, where do you keep all this stuff?
Yeah, it's out of the 3,700 paper plates and the 16 cases of water took up I have a very loving husband that is
Yes.
very tolerant of this,
Yes.
and he lifts all this for me. So yeah, I don't do that stuff. And on the clothes usually are new. I've had a couple of stores give me some inventory. So I was able to drop that off to different nonprofits, and a lot of those nonprofits get used clothes. And one of the ladies that received, she was a client there, she looked at me and she said, it made me feel pretty. And I thought, wow, to think that all they've gotten is used clothes,
Yeah.
and for her to say, I felt pretty,
Yeah.
I thought, this is why we're doing it. This
Yeah.
is why we're doing it.
Exactly. Well, that just, think about maybe, for the folks thinking about donating, how they would feel. What would they want to receive? New stuff, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Exactly. So you've got a book here. Now you've been serving folks for a long time. Tell me about that.
Well, I'm a 30-year retired teacher. I taught here in the SAISD, and I worked with the kids that a lot of people threw away.
Yeah.
I worked with the at-risk kids, the teen pregnancy, the dropouts, and I love them. I love them. And what I found out so much is they're not bad kids, they're just in bad situations.
Yeah.
So I have a lot of stories, and so I wrote a book, and it's called Scars of Love, Tears of Hope. And it's sort of like a chicken soup for the soul, and it tells the different stories. Like one young man, I bought him a calligraphy set, and he passed away because of some crime activities that had happened and he was involved in. And 5 years later, I had a young girl come up and said, I have it. And I said, what do you have? And she said, I have it. And I said, what is it?
What is it?
Because I was going, okay, do I remember you from school? And she said after his funeral that she went to his mother because that was his most treasured thing, was a calligraphy set. And I thought, such little things mean so much. So I wrote the book, and then I traveled with the book trying to teach, and I did trainings for educators, service workers and stuff like that, about sometimes it's just a small thing to help them get through. So that's what the book is about. And that was chapter 1 of Keepers of Hope. And so I've moved on to Chapter 2 now, which is working and supporting the nonprofit and organizations. We don't work with individuals. We work with, like I said, the nonprofits because they've already vetted the clients and they do that. So somebody had asked me if we do individuals, and we don't. We work with those.
Yeah. Well, that goes back to your mission, to helping them stay on their mission, you know, and that's you filling that need, not necessarily with the client, but with the organization itself.
Yes.
Wonderful. So, if folks want to get involved, you put your needs out on Facebook, follow them on Facebook, by the way. What else can they do to help? Do you need volunteers? Do you need someone?
We don't need volunteers because, like I said, so much of it, I have a planner, and so I know the needs because I had to. I mean, there's one day that there was 8 drop-offs and 5 pickups, and then 4 people called me with, hey, I've got this to donate, or can you pick up this? So I don't need volunteers at this time, but I have had a couple of people say, hey, do you know where I can volunteer? And I've been able to say, hey, this is coming up, you could volunteer here. So I do, because the nonprofits always need volunteers.
Yes.
Always.
Yes, they do.
So I can share what we need. We are... of course, donations, monetary donations. We have a place on our website where you can donate.
Oh yeah. Let's pull that up.
Okay.
Do you have it on the?
Yep.
Yes. Okay. Perfect. So
Glasses
Keepers
on.
of Hope website.
Yep. And then here is a list of over, I think it's 35 nonprofits that we have touched in one of those 3 ways. And several of these have been more than one at a time. We've touched several of them a couple of times. Some of them is just a donation. If they have a hope request, we ask them to give an impact letter. How did this impact your organization? Because when I file for grants and foundations and stuff like that, they need to know how we're having an impact, not just that we're moving stuff around. One of the things on our 501c that they pulled us from being a 501c3, and they told us we needed to be a foundation because we're giving stuff away. And so our lawyer had to explain, no, we're not giving, we're just kind of the distribution person and stuff like that. So I don't need volunteers right now. We are going to be selling the book in February as a fundraiser.
Okay.
And they'll be able to purchase that. We're going to set it up on our website so that you can purchase that on there. And that's all the funds will go there. I've donated all the books to Keepers of Hope. So like I said, all the money from that will go into Keepers. There are times that I need the cash or the money. We got a request at 9:00 one night for a vaporizer with a client that had 2 small children with the croup, didn't have the money. So those kind of things. There's been a couple of times that we've gotten bus requests where a client had gotten a job, but they had just recently moved. And if we could just get them a monthly bus pass till they get their first paycheck.
Wow.
So a lot of times, like I said, it's just that small thing to fill the gap to keep them going.
But it makes a huge difference.
Yes.
A huge difference.
Big difference.
Wow.
Big difference.
That is amazing, Debbie. Thank you so much for your work. Thank you for all that you've done for this community and you continue to do. And thank you for joining us today.
Thank you.
Oh, it's so wonderful. This is not the last we hear from Miss Debbie over here. So,
and we have 3 drop-offs for the books. Bargain Cave has a box where you can drop it off. Maurice's Dress Store has a place where you can drop the books off this month. And then down at the Lions Eyeglass Recycle Center, they have a slot and you can drop off books ages 0 to 6 and 10 to 14 because that's the age group of the program. So we would love any new or gently used books.
Gently used.
Gently used. Big difference.
Perfect. Well, I know you're going to be super successful in this because everybody in the community really has a heart to help, I believe. So,
yes.
Especially in this community.
Amazing group.
Yeah. Well, thank you again so much. And thank you for joining us for CVHP News. Don't forget to follow us on social media and download our free app. All you got to do is search Concho Valley Homepage in your app store. That's all for right now, but we're ending the week with some good news, and we hope everybody has a great weekend. We'll see you back here on Monday.